Okay, so we were done with the speed. Now let's talk about the velocity and velocity types. So velocity means what does velocity means? Velocity means the rate of change and rate of change of displacement called velocity. What does displacement mean? The shortest distance. Okay, so rate of change, where the rate of change will be coming, that means that this definition is talking about the time. The rate of change is v is equal to dt. Okay, and as you guys all know that velocity, so velocity is a vector. It's a vector, and this is a vector quantity. How? Because displacement, we have to know that the shortest part we are going to be the distance we are like the shortest part we have selected. So of course we are known that we are having the direction that where we have to go, and as well as we are having the magnitude. Okay, that mean on which time you are like completing a displacement, so that is a vector quantity. And if you're talking about the dimension, so the displacement upon time, so displacement, that is the length, and time is t, that is denoted by t, so the dimension, that is lt minus 1. L will be moving upward and t minus 1. Okay, and if you're talking about the unit, so that is meter per second, because meter displacement, time seconds. Okay, so let me tell you one thing, that from rest to motion, if a body is moving, so that is the initial velocity. Okay, if a body is moving from motion to rest, that is final velocity. Initial velocity will be 0 and final velocity will be also 0. And if they are moving from downward down to upward, so the initial will be 0. Initial. If you are moving up to down, that is final, that is also 0. Okay, these are some points which we have to remember. Now let's talk about the types of velocity. Number 1 type, that is uniform velocity. Uniform velocity means that the average and the instantaneous velocity are same. Okay, and their graph will be straight. Okay, so what does it mean? That the uniform velocity, that the average and instantaneous velocity is average and instantaneous velocity is same. Okay, so what does it the instantaneous means? Instantaneous means the velocity that is between 2 points. And if you're talking about the average, so average is the total number will be divided by the number, like which if we are having 5 meter in 1 second and 2 meter in 1 second, so 5 plus 2 is equal to 7, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So the answer that it will be, that will be the average velocity. Okay, so this is saying that the instantaneous, the speed between 2 point, the speed, not the velocity between 2 points will be same, and average will be same, that is the uniform velocity. If you're talking about the non-uniform velocity, that is the, the opposite of the uniform, that the instantaneous and the average will be both different. We are done with the instantaneous and average table in the last video, that was speed, so no need to repeat. So uniform, when I'm telling you the uniform velocity, where the average and instantaneous will be same, and non-uniform is the opposite of the uniform, where the average and instantaneous will be different, and the graph of the non-uniform will be curved and uniform will be straight, because of the average and instantaneous are the same, and here because the average and instantaneous are different. Now let's talk about the acceleration. What does acceleration means? So acceleration means the change of rate of velocity. change of rate of means time, means change in velocity with respect to time. And here the velocity is equal to meter per second. Here we have find it that there is a formula with meter per second unit, and there is a time, so that will be the s. So the acceleration unit will be the meter per second square. Okay, and dimension if you're talking about, so lt minus 2, because here t square is there, second t square, and t will be moving upward, that will be lt minus 2, that is the dimension. And that is, if you're talking about the velocity, so that is final minus initial upon time, that is the change of velocity. Okay, so change of velocity is equal to the vf is equal to vi plus upon t. If you're talking about the types of acceleration, so the uniform acceleration is there. Uniform acceleration, what does the uniform acceleration mean? The constant change in velocity, constant change in velocity due to with respect to time, and average and instantaneous acceleration will be same. Okay, here the in uniform also the instantaneous and the average was same, but in you can say that average and instantaneous of velocity, here the average and instantaneous of the, here the average and the instantaneous of, here the average and the instantaneous of acceleration. If you're talking about the non-uniform acceleration, if you guys are talking about the non-uniform acceleration, that is the second type, non-uniform acceleration, second type. Okay, so non-uniform acceleration means that that is also called variable acceleration, that is the change variable acceleration, in which the you can say that in which the average and instantaneous will be different, and here the non-constant will be there. Here the constant change in velocity, but here the non-constant change in velocity. No, here the constant change in acceleration, here the non-constant change in acceleration. Okay, so that is called the uniform acceleration. Okay, so that was the acceleration types, uniform, non-uniform, and here the velocity. But the difference between both this is the here the in uniform velocity the uniform velocity will be of average and senior, but in velocity here of acceleration. Okay, so that was the velocity and acceleration and their types. The next video will be talking about the you can say the equation of motions.